Before we start, a quick note to remind you that On the Move podcast episodes are designed to improve balance and confidence in your ability to move. Only do what feels comfortable and stop if anything doesn't feel right. For more information, head to parkinsons.org.uk. And within this class today, I'm going to give you progressive options. Feel free to stay with the first level, but if you would like to progress onto further levels, the option to do so is within this class. I'd like you to just have a body scan now from top to toe. We're going to lay down on the back, rest the arms by the side of the body, bend our knees, place our feet onto the floor. Let's start with our head. Our chin tips forward very slightly. This is to lengthen the back of the neck. Please feel free to close your eyes or open your eyes and look directly above. Bring the shoulders down away from the ears, so just resting and sliding our shoulders downwards, lengthening the neck. Think about your collarbones, lovely and wide. Shoulder blades sliding down the back onto the back of the rib cage, and then we'll move down to our rib cage, which is flat to the floor. It's nice to do a body scan before the session starts, whether we're standing, sitting or laying down, as it identifies areas of tension that we might not actually feel, we might not be aware of. So just scanning the body, either toe to the top or top to the bottom, is a lovely way to relax and be more conscious and aware of our body. So from here we'll move to our pelvis. Tilt the pelvis backwards and forwards. It's a nice exercise to mobilise the lower back, but also it gets us to think about our natural or neutral pelvic position. So I'd like you to rest your pelvis in the most comfortable position for you, but being aware of alignment of those three bones, our pubic bone and our hip bones. Ideally align and create our little pelvic triangle. Our legs are hip width apart, our knees are flexed, and our feet are resting on the floor. Lengthen the toes and just be aware of the feel of your feet onto the ground. So let's start with our hip rolls. I'd like you to bring your knees and your feet together now. Good. Take the arms wide to the side, but keep the elbows just below shoulder level. We're going to tip the legs to 1 o'clock. So imagine a clock face now and tip your legs over to the right to 1 o'clock. Good. And then come back to 12 o'clock. Let's tip the legs over now to 11 o'clock. So a little tip of the legs to the left and then back to the middle. So we're starting with a small range movement, just sliding our legs one side and then over to the other. Let's pass through these times. We're going to go to our 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Well done. Good. Now if this feels comfortable for you, let's start to progress and tip the legs over to 2 o'clock. Good. And then passing through our 12 o'clock mark over to 10 o'clock. Excellent work. But you could progress again. So there's no reason why you can't take your legs a little bit further over. And taking your legs as far as is comfortable for you. But try to keep your rib cage down on the floor, your shoulders melting down into the mat and your head nice and still. Well done. So it's our lower body that it's tipping from side to side. Excellent work. And then just work through the ranges of movement that feel good for you. You can start small, 1 o'clock, 11. You can increase to 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And you may even be able to go a little bit further than that. Always listen to your body. Let's do 2 more repetitions. Over we go. And to the other side. And come back to the centre. Well done. Let's separate the feet and return our legs and feet to hip width apart. Bring the heels as close to the hips as is comfortable and bring the arms down by the side of your body. Our next exercise is the shoulder bridge. We're going to peel away from the floor, coming up towards our shoulders. Well done. And as we lift into the bridge position, feel your bottom muscles tightening. Good. And then slowly roll back down. Well done. Let's do that again. We're going to tilt the pelvis, sink the lower back into the floor and slowly peel away from the ground, coming towards our shoulder blades. And then melting your spine, bone by bone, back onto the ground. Try to keep your knees in line with your hips as you peel away from the floor as we come up into our bridge position. Now I'd like you to hold the bridge and let's progress by adding some arms. Arms are going to reach up by the side of the head and back as far as you can. Palms facing the ceiling. Good. Backs of the hands towards the floor. Now you can either roll back down through your spine and bring your arms with you, or leave your arms where they are and then roll back down. If this feels too tight through the middle of the back, then do bring your arms down with you as you roll and melt your spine back into the floor. For those of you leaving your arms over your head, now return your arms back to the side of the body. Let's repeat that. Tilt the pelvis, peel up into your bridge position. Well done, our knees are in line with our hips. Feel more tension in your buttock muscles as your hips hold your position. And then your arms will float back each side of your head, palms to the ceiling, backs of the hands to the floor. Good, we'll start to melt the spine, bone by bone, back down onto the floor, middle back, lower back, and then eventually hips to ground, and then bring the arms down by the side of the body. Let's do 2 more. Now the option is to peel up into your bridge and take your arms back once you're in the bridge, or move your arms as you lift up into the bridge, moving your arms and your legs together. Pause and roll back down. Let's do 1 more as we peel. Float the arms with your hips as you lift, or move into your bridge position and then move your arms back. Well done. Down we go. Slow, steady control. Bring the knees into the body. Place our hands lightly onto our shins. Allow your tummy muscles to relax. Well done. Now let's place our feet back onto the ground. And we're going to do a variation of our scissor legs. Check your rib cage is flat on the floor, that your spine is lovely and long. And you're going to lift your right leg up into our tabletop position. Your shin, the tabletop is parallel to the ceiling. Your thigh bone, the table leg, is above your hip bone. Hold that leg there and now lift the left leg up. And we're now in our double tabletop position. Your tummy muscles will have to work a lot harder to support your back. So let's try and keep our rib cage flat to the floor. Good, return the right foot to the ground and then the left. Well done. And we'll repeat, but this time lift the left leg first. Pause, lift your right leg and then return your right foot to the floor and then your left. And let's follow through this sequence, lifting our right leg up into table and then our left. Well done. Return your left foot to the floor and then your right. Good. We'll do this 2 more times. Lifting the right leg, stabilizing through our midsection. Lift our left leg. Left foot returns to the floor. Right leg returns to the floor. Well done. And the last one. Let's lift and lift. Pause as we feel that connection around the centre. Using our abdominals to control, we return our foot to the floor and our second foot to the floor and rest. Well done. So a little bit more demand placed on our deep postural muscles. We're now going to stretch our right leg up to the ceiling. Extending the knee, well done. I want you to imagine that your toes are like little pencils and we're going to draw circles on the ceiling. So we're now going to take the leg and draw little circles, circling our leg from the hip, keeping the movement small to begin with. Well done. If that feels comfortable and if your hips are still unstable, increase the size of the circle. Good. Draw a bigger circle on the ceiling, but check that our pelvis is still, our rib cage is down. And visualize that circle that you're drawing. Let's do 2 more in this direction. Well done. Pause over the hip bone and let's circle the other way, changing the direction of our circle. Round we go. A lovely exercise to mobilize the hip and keep our hip nicely conditioned. If the leg feels heavy, feel free to bend the knee. Good, half the length of the leg. 2 more. Last one, and well done. Let's return foot to the floor. Good. Switching legs now, taking our left leg up, toes softly pointing to the ceiling, and a small circle. Imagine our toes are like little pencils or crayons. We're drawing those circles up there on the ceiling, increasing the size of the circle if ready to do so. Just keeping our hips stable, keeping our back long and our rib cage down. Let's do 2 more in this direction. And change direction. Well done. Well done. Let's balance out. 2 more. Last one. And rest. Well done. Feel free to bring the knees into the body. Recovery. And again, a focus on our breath. An opportunity to slow the breath down, to breathe wide and full, and to relax the body. We're going to roll over onto the right side of the body for our next section. Resting head in your hand, or if you'd prefer to lengthen your underneath arm and rest your head on your upper arm, or even place a cushion or a rolled up towel in between your head and your arm for comfort. We're going to bend our knees, bring our heels up towards our hips, with the option now of lifting our feet just above the floor. So imagine a little ledge and you're going to place the side of your underneath foot on that ledge, keeping our feet squeezed together. Let's open our knee as we move to the exercise called the clam. We're going to open and close. The inside of our feet remain closed together, and we're creating that diamond shape as we open our top leg. Your underneath knee and the outside of your thigh will remain on the ground. Keep the knee grounded as we just move the top leg. The rest of the body is still, maintaining length in the spine, keeping our shoulders stacked, keeping our hip bones level. Let's do 4 more repetitions if you're able to, but if your body needs a breather before then, feel free to stop and rest. Otherwise, we've got 2 more. Open and close. Open and close. And rest. Well done. Slide the top leg forward, resting the knee just in front of your underneath leg, and allowing these muscles gently to stretch. For our next exercise, we're going to straighten both legs. Both legs stretched out. Good, and legs stacked one on top of the other. Still laying on our side, let's lift our top leg up and down. Good. We lift and we lower. As we lift the leg, our knee is just above the hip bone. You'll feel this in your buttock muscles once again, as we strengthen those muscles that help to stabilise our hips. Good. Keeping our back still and our spine long, shoulders stacked and head supported in hand or on long arm. Well done. There is a progression with this exercise. You could try and lift the underneath leg. So your underneath leg hovers just above the ground. Imagine that ledge that we're placing our underneath leg on a small ledge and holding it there while we lift the upper leg. Both legs working very hard now. Top leg moving, underneath leg just balanced above the ground. We'll try 4 more repetitions. Rest if you need to. 4, 3, 2, and our last one. Well done. Bend the knees. Good. And recover. And then we have one more exercise on this side. We'll keep the underneath leg bent. The top leg is going to stretch out long. Keeping our body still, we're going to bring that top leg forwards and backwards. Imagine it like a front-back kick. So our set-up position, underneath leg is bent. Hips are still. We're still laying on the side of the body. The head is in hand or on long arm. And our top leg is the moving limb, forwards and backwards. Bringing that leg in front of us and back. Just be aware as the leg moves backwards that we are not changing the position of our spine. I'd like you to keep your rib cage still, keep your lower back long, and just move the leg as far forward and as far back as feels comfortable. Imagine those 2 boards of wood, one in front of you and one board behind you. The body is still as the leg moves. And you could flex your ankle as you bring your leg forwards in front of the hip and extend your ankle as you take your leg back into position or just behind your hip. So a little bit of ankle mobility as well as strengthening the hip. Let's do 2 more of these. Your leg will probably feel heavy and crying out for a rest, which we will now let it have. Bend your knees, bring that leg across the body and give yourself a few moments to recover. Well done. Slowly turn over onto the other side. So we'll start in our clam position. Bend our knees, draw our heels towards our hips, rest our head in our hand or on long arm. And you can either leave your feet down or you could raise your feet just above the floor, imagining a little plank, resting our feet on that little ledge. And we're going to open and close. Good. The insides of our feet are glued together. Our top leg is opening as far as we can manage. However, think about those 2 boards in front of us, one in front, one behind, and the temptation to move those hips back is restricted because of those boards. But focusing on the movement of the leg as we open and close. Think about that diamond shape. So your underneath outside thigh stays on the floor, your knee stays on the floor, and we'll work that top hip. Our last 4 repetitions. And 3, almost there. Good work, 2. And our last one. Excellent. And rest, recovery time before we move on. Well done. Only do what feels right for you. Reduce the amount of repetitions and you can always build up. Let's straighten the top leg now. Heel in line with our hip and hip in line with our shoulder. And we're going to straighten our underneath leg as well. So both legs extended from our hips. Our top leg is going to lift, side of the leg up and down. Well done. Our knee lifting just above the line of the hip bone. Good. Think about that control. Hips are stable, back is still. Good, let your breath flow with the motion. To progress from this exercise, we could lift the underneath leg just above the ground, hold that leg in the lifted position and continue to lift and lower the top leg. So both legs now working hard. You might feel this along the inside of your underneath leg. Your inner thighs are working hard to keep that underneath leg lifted, and your hip muscles working hard in your top leg as we lift the leg up. 2 more repetitions. Last one. Well done, and rest. Those legs feeling as if they've worked extremely hard. We'll give them a rest before we move on to our last exercise on the side of the body. And that's going to be our side lying front back kick. For this exercise, I'd like you to bend your underneath leg, straighten your top leg. Good. Keep the knee roughly level with the hip bone and just slide the leg forwards and backwards. Good. Leg is long and we move it forwards and we move it back. Once again, just aware of your own range of movement. Back is still, hips are stacked. Think about those hip bones like little spotlights beaming forwards. And as you bring the leg forward, let's flex the ankle, toes towards the shin, and then toes extending away from the shin as we take the leg back, flexing the ankle forwards, extending the ankle as we move the leg backwards. Well done. And if you can manage it, let's go for 4 more repetitions. And 3, this is good. Last 2, 1 more, and then a well-deserved rest. Good. Allow that top leg just to drop down in front of your underneath leg and give those muscles a rest. Well done. And our final position in this section is our hands and our knees, or knuckles and knees. So in your own time, come over onto your hands and your knees. And if you wish to use a rolled up towel just to rest your hands over so your wrists are not overly extended, please do. Or you could come onto your knuckles if that feels more comfortable. So our hands underneath our shoulders, our knees under our hips. And we're now going to slide our right foot behind us, stretch our right leg out, good, toes to the floor, and then draw that leg back in. And the same thing with the left leg, just extend the leg out, toes on the floor and back in. Good. I would like you to carry on straightening the leg and bending. Well done, straightening and bending. Excellent work. And we're now using what we call our sitting muscles to straighten the leg. We're strengthening our bottom muscles. As we straighten the leg and bend, think about your hips. Try and keep those hips balanced. Try and keep them stable. So we're using our control, abdominal control, to help keep those hips as still as we can. Imagine that we're resting something, your favourite drink, on the lower back, and we want to keep that cup or glass full with your favourite tipple. Good. Now we could progress this exercise by extending and then lifting that leg just a few inches above the ground. So slide it out, lift it, and then bring the knee back in and underneath the hip bone. The other leg reaches back and we lift. Good. And then come back in. Feel free to stay with the first option, just straightening the leg along the floor, or if you're able to, stretch and lift. But be mindful of those hips that we want to keep as still as we can. Our spine stays long. Well done. Pause for a moment. Sit the bottom back towards the heels. Give yourselves a rest before we progress to the upper body. A nice full breath in. And returning now to hands and knees or your knuckles and knees. And we're going to do the same thing with our arms. So I'd like you to reach forward with your right arm, bringing your arm up level with your ear if you can, and return the hand to the floor. Good. Just go as far as you're able. If you're able to reach the line of the ear, have a go. If that feels painful or uncomfortable, just go as far as you can. Reaching and back in. Excellent. Let's alternate arms. One arm reaching and then switch to the other arm. Keeping the back of the neck long. So I'd like you to carry on lifting and alternating, but just be aware of your neck. The neck is long, the chin is slightly tipped forwards, and we're keeping our spine in that long, neutral position. Well done. Back of the hand facing the ceiling, the palm shining down to the floor, and our eyes down. We're looking between the hands. Well done. Now, let's add a challenge. Not only are we going to stretch those arms in front of us, we're going to return to our leg slide as well. And we'll do this in opposition. So let's start with our right arm and our left leg. We reach forward with the right arm and we slide our left leg back. Lift the left leg if you are able to. In we come. Now, this is a real balance challenge. If you prefer just to stay with the arms or stay with the legs, feel free to do so. But if you're able to, have a little go at this balance challenge where most of your body is working hard. Your hips, your legs, your shoulders, and of course that midsection. Think about the middle of your body, that belt working hard to stabilize us. Alternating arm and leg in opposition, and we're reaching as far forward and as far back with our fingers and toes as we are able to. Feel that lovely length along the body. Let's do 2 more of these. This is a challenging exercise, but the more we practice, the better we become. Well done. Last one, a great one for core strength and stability. Hips back towards your heels if you're able to. Good work. And rest. Well done. Come to a sitting position. And I'd just like you to rotate your wrists after doing those exercises. Circle the wrists with your fingers together or open your fingers. Good. And we'll move in a clockwise direction and anti-clockwise. Good. A little brain teaser. Right hand moves in a clockwise direction. Left hand moves in an anti-clockwise direction. Well done. And then switch over. Left hand moves in a clockwise direction. And your right in an anti-clockwise. Well done. It's a lovely exercise to do just to remobilise the wrists after the previous exercise where we were balancing on our hands and our hands being held in that extended position. So feel free also just to flex and extend the wrists as well as rotate. Couple more of these. And rest. Good work. Now we've been on the floor for a while. We're just going to stay on our bottom, but I'd like you just to relax your shoulders down. Take a breath in and a steady breath out. Well done. That was a more challenging 30-minute mat or floor-based class, and well done if you manage those progressions. Excellent work. But of course, always listen to your body and progress when you feel ready to do so. Thank you for joining us on The Move.